our best year yet, but I made a post. If 2025 could have an emoji, if 2025 was an emoji, it would be that lady with her hand over her head. Y'all know that emoji. This is the emoji for 2025, because you just didn't see a lot of things coming. You didn't see the health challenge coming. You didn't see the money getting funny. You didn't see people misusing you. You didn't see the health challenges. You didn't see the sudden move. You didn't see any of that coming. Although we claim 2025, oh, it's our year. It's our year. It's our year. And now we're in December. We're at the end of the year. We're in the fourth quarter. What happened? Or even yet, what didn't happen in 2025? But I am on here to encourage your heart. And I'm keeping my notes close by so that I can stay focused, because I want to give you exactly what God gave me for you. You are about to step into your fourth quarter comeback. Your fourth quarter comeback. I know 25 hit you hard. I know you didn't see all those things coming. I know you thought it would end better than this, but you are about to step into your fourth quarter comeback. Who's ready to step into a comeback? Who's ready to step into that fourth quarter turnaround? I know I am. I know some things didn't get done. Some things didn't turn out the way I thought it would. But God is a God that shows up in the fourth quarter, and he can flip the script at any time. So you are about to step into your fourth quarter comeback, because I know you're quietly saying, Lord, the year just can't end like this. It got to get better. It cannot end like this. God specializes in comebacks. He specializes in the comeback. He specializes in showing up at the last minute. Y'all know how God moves. He shows up at the 11th hour. When we think we're running out of time, he shows up. That is what is going to happen this month. Yes, we got 22 days. God don't need 22 seconds to turn your situation around. It can show up instantly. Fourth quarter comeback. I love watching basketball with my husband. I'm not a big basketball fan, but I love watching it with him, because I asked 10,000 questions as we were watching basketball. But Rick told me, he said, the best part of basketball happens in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game. Because it doesn't matter what happened in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, but those last few minutes of the game is when it gets really good. You could be down the whole game and come back and win. That fourth quarter comeback. That's what's about to happen. That is what is about to happen. So I want to encourage you. You're not defeated. You're not done. God is not done with you. Everything that you went through was a process. Everything that happened in 2025 was a process to get you to this point right here. That fourth quarter comeback. Now, I went to God. I said, okay, give me something in the Bible that correlates with a fourth quarter comeback. Of course, he took me to your boy Lazarus. Now, if that ain't a comeback story, I don't know what is. So for Bible study purposes, we're going to be coming from John chapter 11. John chapter 11. So I'm going to be adding to John chapter 11 so you can read it in its entirety. We're not going to go through verse for verse, but I do want to give you the meat and take out what God wants us to take out of John chapter 11. Y'all know it's about Lazarus. Lazarus wasn't just sick. He wasn't just down and out. Lazarus was dead. But death could not even stop God coming in and turning that situation around. So let's jump around chapter 11, if you will. I'm going to go from verse 3 to verse 6. His sisters said, Lord, behold, the one you love is sick. And when Jesus heard that, he said, this sickness is not until death, but for the glory of God, and that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. That was the plan of the comeback right there. This sickness is not until death. It goes on to say, and Jesus loved Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Because I want you to know that no matter what you experienced in 2025, you got to know that God loves you. God loves you. His plans for you are good, not to harm you, but to give you a future and a hope. He loves you. So as we go deeper into John chapter 11, looking at verse 6, it says, when Jesus heard he was sick, he stayed where he was in the same place for 2 more days. God is not moved with our 911 prayers. And you know we've all done it. God, please show up. Please do this. God. He's not moved by that. He's not moved by our urgency and our emergency. He's moved by our faith. That is what moves God. Not the fact that we are panicking. The fact that we believe him and we believe his word. That is what moves God. So when Jesus came, he found where the man was laying, and he had been in the grave 4 days already. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and it's fourth quarter. He's in the grave. And then Martha said, Lord, had you been here, he wouldn't have died. That's the posture that we take sometimes. Lord, had you been here, we wouldn't have gotten a divorce. Lord, had you been here, I'd be healed already. Lord, had you been here, I wouldn't have lost my house. Lord, had you been here. But he goes on with this comeback declaration. He says, your brother will rise again. Again, God is not moved by our panicking. He simply calms them and says, he'll rise again. He'll rise again. Then Mary came. She said the same thing. If you had been here, our brother wouldn't have died. So now Mary and Martha, they're using the power of agreement, but they're using it in the wrong way. They're using it for doom and gloom. So you have to be careful in this season, in this fourth quarter, who's in your ear? What are they saying? Are they agreeing with the setback? Are they agreeing with the downfall? Are they agreeing with the fact that God is not going to come through, so they think? Are they agreeing with the fact that it just don't look good? You have to watch who's in your ear in this fourth quarter comeback. That is so important. So it says that Jesus groaned. He was troubled. He said, okay. Where have you laid him? Take me back to the point you gave up. Take me back to the point you stopped believing. Take me back to the point where your faith died. Where did you lay it? Where is it? Did you give up on your spouse? Did you give up on the church? Did you give up on your job? Did you give up on your prayer life? Take me back there. And so they did. But the comeback moment, this is where it starts. Because now they're saying, well, he stinks. You can't do anything. It's over. It's done. The marriage is done. We sleep in separate bedrooms. This is not going to work. They already fired me. The career's not working. The nonprofit is not working. Nothing is working. Had you been here, none of this would have happened anyway. But now it's really over. Don't forget. That's when God really shows up and shows out. When it looked irreversible, when it looked hopeless, when it looked like you just can't come back from this, God is writing a new chapter in your life. You can come out of 2025 on top. You can come out winning. You can come out with your joy. You can come out with your peace. You can come out with your money being restored. It's not over. I want to just encourage your heart. It is not over. So, of course, Jesus called with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he came out. But he came out. He was still bound in those grave clothes. So before we go any deeper, I want to give you 5 practices that's going to unlock your fourth quarter comeback. 5 practices. And these are not just suggestions. These are prophetic actions, biblical declarations, biblical actions I want you to take to ensure that you have a fourth quarter comeback. Who's ready? Somebody put in the chat, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let me know you with me. Let me know you with me. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Who's ready? Let's use the chat. Let's use the chat. I'm ready. There we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Practice number one. Practice number one. Believe even when it looks like it's too late. Believe even when it looks like it's too late. John chapter 11 verse 40 says, if you believe, you will see the glory of God. When you're in your fourth quarter, your biggest battle is in your unbelief. Now, Lazarus' sisters, they believed that he could heal, but they didn't believe that he could resurrect the dead. Because sometimes we believe God to do the hard thing. But in this fourth quarter, we're going to have to believe God to do the impossible thing. It's a difference. We can do the hard stuff, but we're going to have to believe God to do what is impossible. A comeback in the fourth quarter requires faith on another level. And I'm still on number one, faith on another level. Faith that defies evidence. You can't prove it. You don't know how it's going to happen. You just believe God. Faith. Faith that confronts fear. No longer will we be stifled by fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of failure. Fear of being judged. What are they going to say? What are they going to do? And what if? We are what-ifing ourselves out of our blessing. It requires faith that speaks. Faith that moves. Faith that declares. This is what's going to get you a fourth quarter comeback. So that was number one. Believe, even when it looks like it's too late. Because your comeback begins when you start to believe again. Number two, practice number two, remove the stone. Jesus told them, remove the stone. He could have removed it supernaturally. Jesus told them to remove the stone. In John chapter 11, verse 39, take away the stone. That's what he said. Why did he say that? Because God will never do for you what you refuse to do for yourself. You have a part to play in your own breakthrough. We want to drive through blessing. We want it our way. We want God to do everything. We don't want to put in the work. We don't want to show up. We don't want to put in the sweat equity. We just want God to do it. No, he said, remove the stone. What's your stone? What is your stone? Is it fear? Are you making excuses? Are you procrastinating? Are you in a comfort zone? Are you being rebellious? What is your stone that needs to be removed in these last 22 days of the year before we go into 2026? Identify your stone and you remove it. Put in the work. Be honest with yourself. If it's your attitude, remove it. If you petty, remove it. If you gossiping, remove it. If you gotten stingy with God, remove it. Whatever it is that's blocking you from your fourth quarter comeback, you have the power to remove it. Take away the stone. Because God is saying, if you remove the stone, I'll release the miracle. Remove the stone. Practice number 3. Listen for the right voice. Listen for the right voice. John chapter 11 and 43, it says that Jesus called him in a loud voice and said, Lazarus, come forth. When you are expecting your fourth quarter comeback, you don't need everybody in your ear. telling you what you can't do, telling you it's too late, telling you that you are behind, telling you what you can't afford, telling you what you shoulda, woulda, coulda done. Guard your ear gates. And if you got to cut some people off, then pull out those spiritual scissors and cut them off. Because you have to be in tune with the right voice. You hear God. You hear God in your own way. God speaks to people differently. So don't let anybody tell you, you got to hear God this way or you got to hear God that way. You have an inner knowing when God is telling you to do something, or is God telling you to sit still, or God telling you to show up, or God telling you this is not the room for you. But you have to cut off those other voices. And don't be surprised when God gives you an uncommon instruction. It won't make sense to your bank account. It won't make sense to anybody else. Don't waste your time trying to explain to people what God told you to do. He called you, and it was not a conference call. So you don't need validation from anybody else on what God told you to do. Am I talking to anybody tonight? Y'all real quiet. And I know God gave me this for you. Am I talking to anybody tonight? Are you ready for a fourth quarter comeback? Your 2025 does not have to end like this. Watch who's in your ear. Listen for the right voice and obey quickly. Don't sit around. You don't have to go on a 30-day fast when you know God told you to do something. You don't have to jump on a prayer call when you know God told you to do something. He woke you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, this is what I want you to do. Obey and obey quickly. Like I said, we got 22 days. But God can do it. He can turn that thing around for you. We all had some setbacks this year. But God is a God of the comeback, y'all. You can win at the buzzer. But He's taken your faith to another level. He's taken your belief system to another level. He's saying, do you really trust me? I know you praying, but do you really trust me? Do you really believe that I'm going to bring you out? Do you really believe that I'm going to heal your body? Do you really believe that I'm going to restore your finances? Do you really believe that I'm going to bring clarity where there's chaos? Listen for the right voice. Any other voice, just tell it to shut up. Just shut up. Even if it's your own voice, even if you are in your own way, shut up. If it's not in alignment with the word, if it's not in alignment with your destiny, don't say it. Because we can go to church, we can have a good sermon, we can have a good time, and we pray, and we say, okay, God, yes, I surrender. And you don't even get off the parking lot good enough before your mouth has opened up and now you're speaking negative. The seed that you planted in praise, you just dug it up with complaining. Your prayer and your daily conversation has to be in alignment. It has to be in alignment. That's why it's important to get around people that you all can walk in agreement. You can pour into them, they can pour into you. You can trust them with your heart. Discernment is key in this fourth quarter. Every door is not for you. Every room is not for you to go in. Every person that got your back don't necessarily got your back. That may be the person that's stabbing you in your back. Discernment is key. Listen for the right voice. Because when God calls you out, He brings you out of depression. He brings you out of negativity. He brings you out of toxic relationships. He brings you out of sickness. When God calls you out, Listen for the right voice. I'm telling you, one word from God can change your whole situation. We're talking about practices that ensure that you have a fourth quarter comeback. You can come back from this. You can survive this. You will not die in your winter season. You will not die in your valley experience, because God is calling you out. And when God speaks, life happens. Number 4, shake off what tried to bury you. Shake off what tried to bury you. If we look at John chapter 11, verse 44, and he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes. Even his face was bound with a napkin. Lazarus came out alive, but he was still bound. And some of us have been resurrected spiritually, but we still bound. We still bound in our flesh. We still bound with some things of the world. We still bound in our bad attitude. Still bound. Still holding on to things. We're bound with some old habits, things we don't want to let go of. We're bound with some old fears that's holding us hostage. Because there are two different types of fears. There's a healthy fear that keeps you safe. You're just not going to go running around in the forest at night here because you hear bears and coyotes. That's a healthy fear. I'm talking about the fear that keeps you stuck. The fear that keeps you from doing the thing that God calls you to do. Bound. You think that fear keeps you safe? No, that fear keeps you from elevating. And anything that keeps you from doing what God told you to do, you just made it your God. So if fear is stopping you, you just made fear your God, and you have become a servant to fear. The devil is a whole lie. Stuck with fears. What else has you bound? Your old identity, who you used to be. I tell you, when it's time for your comeback, trust me, somebody is going to show up and remind you what you used to do. Girl, you remember when you used to? Girl, you remember when you used to cuss like a sailor? Girl, you remember when, you used to throw hands in a minute? Girl, you remember when you used to dance on tape? So what? My old identity can no longer keep me bound. It's like robbing an empty house. Baby, I don't live there anymore. What's keeping you bound? Old relationships. People you should have dropped a long time ago. But you're so nice. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But they are pulling you backwards. You're trying to grow in God, and they're keeping that same mindset from 10 years ago. They're keeping that same poverty mindset from 15 years ago. Old relationships can keep you bound. And I'm not saying don't love them, but everybody can't go to the level that you're going. And it's okay. And you have to be okay with that. Because God is working on them in their season. Bound. You came out, but you came out bound. You came out, but you came out insecure. You came out, but you came out lacking faith. You came out, but you came out confused. Shake off what tried to bury you. Old insecurities, old patterns. You're so important to the kingdom that the enemy studies you. He knows what you like. He knows what you don't like. He knows what's going to push your buttons. He knows what's going to have you laughing. He studies you. So because you have the same pattern, you're an easy target. Because as you were making plans for 2025, he was making plans too. He was listening in on your conversations. He was listening in on your prayers. He's looked at your vision board. But you have the same pattern. We're going to have to switch it up. We're going to have to switch it up. Switch up your prayer life. Switch up your fasting. Study more. Read more. Get in some different Bible groups. It's okay. It is okay. You don't have to wait till Tuesday to get around some believers and talk about God. You're going to have to switch it up. Last year's prayer life cannot handle tomorrow's demons. You're going to have to press your way. Especially when we're having corporate prayer, press your way. There's power when we come together. Shake off what tried to bury you. And number 5. So we just finished off shaking off what tried to bury you. And before I move on to number 5, I don't want us to get to 2026. And you know how you hear it, new year, new me, new year, new me. Not if you carrying the same baggage that you've been dealing with all year long. It's a new date on the calendar, but it's the same old you. Because you didn't do the work. You didn't say, it may be me. It may be me with the bad attitude. It may be me keeping mess going. So don't just quote, it's a new year, new me, and you haven't done the work. We got 22 days. But we can still have that fourth quarter come back. Where we coming back from the ashes. We coming back from the divorce. We coming back from the bankruptcy. We coming back set free, healed, and delivered. Number 5, let others help you finish the comeback. The enemy will use isolation as a tool. That will put you in a place of pride. When you saying, I got this, I got it all figured out. That is a sign you have not truly surrendered to the call of God on your life. If you are saying things like, let me figure this out, you ain't got to figure out nothing. You just got to walk it out. If you truly believe him, all you got to do is walk it out. He'll figure it out. If your steps are truly ordered, you don't have to figure it out. This is not the time to fall away from church. This is not the time to fall away from getting together in your prayer groups, because your breakthrough, your comeback, you cannot do it by yourself. That's a lie from the pit of hell. That's a trick of the enemy. Because if he gets you by yourself, he can start feeding you with all those lies. You need somebody who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to pour into you, who's going to pray for you. Lazarus came out bound. And Jesus said, loose him and let him go. Get all of these grave clothes off of him. Set him free. I don't want you to just come out. I want you to come out free. I want you to come out powerful. I want you to come out walking in authority, knowing who you are and whose you are. And when you open your mouth, demons better tremble. The fourth quarter comeback. Yes, the last few seconds of the game. Yeah, it ain't looking good. Yeah, your bank account is in the red. Yeah, they talking about you. They should. They should. But you can have that fourth quarter come back. 22 days. Watch God work. When you truly believe him, watch him work. When you submit to what he told you to do, watch him work. When you getting on your face and you crying out, God, I surrender, watch him work. When you are sowing and giving and tithing, watch him work. So in 2026, you will be a new you. You put away that old mindset. You stop making excuses. You stop procrastinating. You showed up when you didn't feel like it. You pressed when you were tired. A fourth quarter comeback. I want you to put in the chat, I will come back from this. Whatever your this is, make a declaration. I will come back from this. I will come back from this. The heartache, I will come back from this. The disappointment, I will come back from this. Them lying on you, I will come back from this. Money dried up, I will come back from this. You got to let the devil know they messed with the wrong one in 2025, baby. This is a fourth quarter comeback, and we coming out on top. The fight is fixed. We win. We win. But it got to be up here, y'all. Your mindset and your heart set and your mouth set, that triangle, has to be in alignment. If you believe something in your heart, you should be speaking it from your mouth. Because you can cancel your belief by what you say. It's a fourth quarter comeback. Yes, we coming back from all of this. All of this.